At the end of most volumes of Attack on Titan, there was usually a fake preview that gave us a break from the harshness of the story. There was a gag that was only a 2-page spread each time. In the official Titan guidebook, Attack on Titan Answers, we first hear about a short story called Attack on Schoolcasts. The story of Schoolcast started to appear in the series from volume 21 onwards. At first glance, Schoolcast seems to have no connection to the story of Attack on Titan. However, with the release of the final volume, it turns out that it actually contains an important secret that's related to the main story. So, in this video, we'll look back at the contents of Attack on Schoolcasts, and I'll point out the foreshadowing that was hidden in the fake previews. The setting of Attack on Schoolcasts. Schoolcast is a short story with about 2 pages each volume that began in volume 21 of the manga. The story is about characters from Attack on Titan's 104th class of cadets attending a modern-day school. As the title Schoolcast suggests, there's a caste system in the school that the students are attending. Students who are handsome, beautiful, or athletic are in the higher ranks. Students who are nerds or don't perform well are put in the lower ranks. When Attack on Schoolcast was first published in volume 21, the class ranks of the characters were written in the book. According to the book, the top ranks are Reiner, the head of the football team, and Historia, the daughter of a celebrity. Bertolt and Ymir were in the entourages of these two. In the main story of Attack on Titan, Reiner's often treated like a joke character, so it's interesting to see he's the highest ranked in Attack on Schoolcasts. On the other hand, the lower ranks include Eren, an average boy, Armin, a nerd, Mikasa, an occult-loving, gloomy character, and a few others. John, Annie, Connie, Sasha, and others also appear in the story. The story of Attack on Schoolcast. In Attack on Schoolcast, just like the main story, Eren's the main character. In volume 22, Eren's shown as an ordinary boy with no friends. One day, Eren saves Armin, a nerd who was being harassed by Jean, a delinquent in school. This is how Eren becomes friends with Armin and Mikasa, who dislike Jean. In volumes 23 and 24, Levi appears as a janitor. And in volumes 25 to 27, the story focuses on the process of Historia and Eren becoming friends. It was a high school, slice-of-life focused story. But in volume 29, Attack on Schoolcast takes a sudden turn. Eren has a dream about a zombie attack on his school. This is linked to the world being attacked by Titans in the main story. In volume 30, Eren begins to wonder if he can create a crisis that will lead to the extinction of the human race. This is linked to Eren's activating the rumbling and leads to the destruction of the world in the main story. On the bonus pages of volume 30, Eren's approached by Gabi and Falco, members of a religious group that believes in the founder Ymir, and Eren's taken away by them. In volume 31, Zeke, who's thought to be the leader of the religious group, also makes an appearance. Eren's rescued by his schoolmates, but now all are being chased by Zeke and the others. In the end, however, Eren receives a message from the ghost of the founder Ymir, and everyone is saved. The story of Attack on Schoolcast comes to an end, with everyone returning to their normal lives. With the story's conclusion, it was expected that the final book, Volume 34, wouldn't contain any Attack on Schoolcasts. But a final chapter of Attack on Schoolcast was drawn in the final volume, and it came with a shocking revelation. Please be aware, from here on out we'll be going over spoilers to the last volume of the manga, the final chapter of Attack on Schoolcasts. In the final chapter of Attack on Schoolcast, which was published as the last bonus pages of Volume 34, Eren, who's returned to his daily life, goes to see a movie with Mikasa and Armin. The movie that the three of them were watching was related to the events that took place in the main story of Attack on Titan. Eren, Mikasa, and Armin were portrayed from our perspective as readers. After watching the movie, the three of them were talking about their impressions of it, with Mikasa saying, "I thought it was good." Armin, who loves to overthink, said, "There were too many mysteries left unanswered." Eren said, "I enjoyed watching the movie with you guys." What Mikasa said was meant to represent the opinions of the editorial staff and the general readers, and what Armin said was meant to represent the opinion of the hardcore fans. Eren's opinion was supposed to be representing the opinion of the author, Isayama Sensei. In Attack on Titan, there are several mysteries that haven't been clearly addressed. Based on Armin's statement here, Isayama Sensei intentionally did not draw the answers to all the mysteries. He anticipated some readers would raise objections, so he closed the story by showing this as his answer to them. I think it's amazing how Isayama Sensei anticipated the objections of some readers and chose to close the story this way. Also, at the end of Attack on Schoolcast, Eren says, "But it's hard to believe that there are really Titans 100 years ago." Mikasa said, "I don't know how much of this is based on historical fact." This indicates that the world of Attack on Schoolcast is 100 years after Attack on Titan, and the movie they watched was based on a true story. Given this shocking fact, I found out that there was foreshadowing about Schoolcast in the main story. Fragments of Eren's memory that appeared in the main story. In Attack on Titan, Volume 30, Chapter 120, Eren and Zeke are shown conversing in the Coordinate. The two are trying to trace back the memories of their father, Grisha. In this chapter, there's a page with a fragmented scene of Eren's memories. Eren's point of view of Mikasa and Armin from Attack on Schoolcast was shown on that page, but it was very small. Of course, Eren in the main story has no connection to the characters in Schoolcasts. There have been a lot of discussions among readers about this. Two of the most important ones were, 1. That the Coordinate connected all Eldians. So, having the Attack Titan and the Founding Titan, the memories of future Eldians entered Eren. In the last chapter of the main story, Eren stated that the influence of the power of the Founder has no past or future. They both exist at the same time. Because of this, it wouldn't be surprising if memories of future Eldians had entered his mind. The second possibility is that Eren could see the memories of his next life through the power of the Attack Titan. In chapters 120 and 121, there's a scene where Eren reveals to Zeke his ability to use the Attack Titan. It turns out that the Attack Titan can see the memories of his future inheritors. Even though Eren is the last heir of the Attack Titan, the Eren in Attack on Schoolcast is a reincarnation of himself. Titan powers had already disappeared in Schoolcast, but he was still the heir to the Attack Titan in his past life. It's possible that Eren was able to see bits and pieces of his future life with his abilities. In any case, it's been confirmed that the world of Attack on Schoolcast is 100 years after the main story. The characters in Attack on Schoolcast are most likely reincarnations of Eren and the others. If this is true, it's interesting that their names are exactly the same. Maybe after the events of the main story, their names became popular to give to children in that area. An interesting scene in Attack on Schoolcasts. Based on what we've seen so far, let's take a closer look at some of the scenes in the story of Attack on Schoolcasts. Ymir and her 3 daughters in the final chapter. In the final chapter of Schoolcasts, after Eren and the others finish watching the movie, a woman that looks like Ymir is shown walking with 3 children. As for these 3 children, they're most likely Maria, Rose, and Sina, Ymir's biological children. Sina's hair is tied back in a bun, which was how her hair was shown in the main story. We can see the same thing was done in Attack on Schoolcasts. Ymir was a slave of the first King Fritz in the main story, and even after her death, she continued to submit to people with royal blood for a very long time, although she eventually passed on. The sight of Ymir walking down the street with her children in the world of Schoolcast shows that she was both reborn and became free at the same time. Also, if you look closely at her mouth, you can see she's smiling. It seems that Ymir found happiness after her reincarnation. Ymir's ghost also appeared in Attack on Schoolcasts, so it's unclear if she's a full reincarnation, but when we see how happy Ymir is enjoying life, I think that people who read the main story will be happy for her. The connection to past fake previews. Before Attack on Schoolcast began, there were fake previews in the earlier volumes that didn't seem to be connected in any way. In the last fake preview, in volume 17, there's one where Sasha and Connie are running a ramen shop. There's a theory that this may be connected to Attack on Schoolcasts, because Sasha and Connie, who are main characters in Attack on Titan, show up very little in Attack on Schoolcasts. This led to rumors that the two might be running a ramen shop in the Schoolcast's world. Only the author knows the truth, but maybe Mikasa's fake previews where she became a gyaru and an idol were also things that actually happened in Attack on Schoolcasts. Armin as the main character in the final movie. In the final chapter of Attack on Titan, Armin is named as the hero who killed Eren and saved the world. And if you look at the anime, Armin is the narrator. At key points in the story, he looks back on what he experienced in the past and seems to be reading about it. We know the film that Eren and his friends were watching at the end of Attack on Schoolcast was based on a true story from 100 years ago. Because of this, the information that the movie was based on could be the narration that Armin was doing in the main story. If the story's told from Armin's point of view, it's possible that Armin was the main character in the movie. If so, it'd be pretty funny if Armin in Attack on Schoolcast was denying the story told by Armin in Attack on Titan. The timeline of the world of Attack on Schoolcasts. In the final volume, a total of 8 new pages were added to the 139th chapter published in Bessatsu Shonen magazine. Some of these showed what the world was like after the story ended. We go over these additional pages in more detail in previous videos, so if you're interested in them, please check those out too. On one of the pages, Mikasa seems to have married a man we think is Jean and had a child, and dies as an old woman with the scarf that Eren had given her. After that, we see the buildings are destroyed by a war. Many more years pass, and the tree finally grows to resemble the tree that Ymir, the founder, once used to obtain her Titan powers. The story ends showing us a child with a dog in front of this tree, where Eren's grave was. Since it's been established that the world of Attack on Schoolcast is 100 years after the main story, chronologically speaking, Schoolcast takes place a while after Mikasa's death, but before the war. In the world of Attack on Schoolcast, the city is full of modern buildings, and devices like smartphones and computers exist, which is completely different from Paradis Island in the main story. It's amazing to think that civilization flourished so much in just 100 years. But looking at our own technology, we could say the same. We've advanced so much since the 1920s, where we had a similar level of technology to what Marley had in Attack on Titan. Also, the characters in Attack on Schoolcast are thought to be reincarnations of the 104th class of cadets. But if it is only 100 years later, that means they were reborn relatively soon after their deaths. Mikasa in the main story most likely married John and had a child. I wonder if Mikasa in Schoolcast is related to the first Mikasa. She could be the great-granddaughter of the main character. In the end, Schoolcast is just a bonus story, so everything might not have been thought out as well as it was in the main story. Still, it's amazing to think that there were secrets hidden not only in the main story, but also in these little extras. If you have any opinions or noticed any other things, please tell us your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you again in the next video.